Well, let's get into the dailies that we have for you today.
All right, so I'm going to be starting with the Daily Graphic. And on the Daily Graphic, we have here, Galamsey surges in election years. Former FC Executive Director points out. And the big one here, today's by-election, Kumewu precursor to 2024 polls. So basically, they're asking a question, is it a precursor to 2024 polls? 2 babies die over hospital power cut. 3 others in critical condition. Wow.
Yeah.
That's sad. ICAG begins project to tackle public waste. And those are the headlines we have on the Daily Graphic.
All right. Now, the front page of the Finder has these headlines here. It says, Sami Oku wins Best Overall Public Sector CEO Award for 2022. Again, Kumewu by-election, police promises to ensure law and order. So I'm sure, you know, the top brass have sent in quite a reinforcement to make sure that nothing untoward happens today.
Right.
We also have, we face deeper issues beyond mere IMF-dictated fiscal discipline. This is coming from Bernard Koku-Avle, who happens to be the host of the Citi Breakfast Show, 97.3 Citi FM, as well as the general manager of Citi TV and Citi FM. BOG gives banks 3 years to rebuild capital buffers. E-levy rakes in, take a look at this, 861.47 million Ghana cedis in 11 months. Inflows drop in 2023 due to rate review to 1%. So this is interesting. The e-levy, somehow, you know, they're making...
It did its work.
They're collecting the revenue.
It did its work.
Yeah.
Right, so on the Daily Guide, we have here, IMF cash bolsters Ghana's overseas reserves. We remember Dumsor, Bahumia pokes NDC. Enim tips to win Kumewu's seat. Parliament resumes June 6. Another by-election looms. PIAC Lord's government use of oil cash. And that's what we have for the Daily Guide.
All right, I have the Chronicle here, and it says, offloading GMPC's 50% stake in Deepwater Tunnel. Petro SA deal is absurd and scandalous. Minister Napo whines in a strongly worded letter to Jubilee House. BOG maintains policy rate at 29.5%. We also have Samir Wuku is the best public sector CEO. And the scripture for today on the front page of the Chronicle says, Proverbs 14 verse 15, the naive believes everything, but the sensible man considers his steps.
Right.
Who's there? Where are they shading?
You're always shading someone with the Bible. The New Crusading Guide. Kokobot denies sacking workers. EC dismisses notice of poll on Kumewu by-election, says it's fake. Paul Chumberima extols Controller and Accountant General for sanitizing public sector financial management systems. Alex Apaldade, KGL Sweep Group CEO of Conglomerate Business and Diaspora Business of the Year 2023. Sami Ewuku wins Public Sector CEO Award at Ghana CEO Summit. Banking industry to face crisis if government fails to secure $1.5 billion stability fund, and that's by Dr. Saad.
All right. Now I have the Encore newspaper, and it says here, Cocoa Board writes to the Anchor, denies sacking officers. It's official. Former MMDC East set to picket at Jubilee House, insists their action is not meant to embarrass the government. KGL boss wins Group CEO Award, and as company is adjudged Diaspora Business of the Year. We have Godfrey Oparekjan writes, celebrating unique and versatile Napo on his birthday. By the way, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Minister Napo. Ex-Agric Minister confesses. All right.
All right, so on the Inquisitor, we have special edition celebrating unique and versatile Napo on his birthday.
Oh,
Happy
yeah.
birthday, sir. Episodes of a police officer, growing dislike for IGP within Ghana Police Service. Kumewu by-election today, and we have the pictures of the political candidates. We have Enes Yao Enim, Kwesi Amankwa, Kweku Dua, and another Kweku Dua. Sami Ewuku is the best public sector CEO.
All right, the front page of the Daybreak says IMF queries government over free SHS target. We have Ghanaian peacekeeper is 2022 UN gender advocate. And got the story again by Godfred Oparijan, celebrating versatile Napo, unique and versatile Napo on his birthday. And Alex Dede, KGL Group win 2023 top award.
So my last paper here is the Economy Times. IMF Ghana bailout program, the light and the darkness. Citi now world's best performer. IMF, Ghana intends to agree debt rework MOU with official creditors before November. And that's all we have.
All right, I have the ABC News, and we're going to finish up the news review with that. MPP Victory 2024 starts today in Kumewu, and the president says that the winning ways of the MPP will begin today in Kumewu. Yeah. Ghana CEO Summit and Expo, Samir Uku, ACO of the Year. We have transport operators must comply with 10% reduction in transport fares now. And Cocoa Board set record straight. Bankrupt Cocoa Board abruptly sacks officers. This is the initial article that was written, and they're setting the record straight on this one. Well, you can go over to citinewsroom.com for your news updates, okay? And so let me just maybe do a couple of headlines from citinewsroom.com. Let's see what we have there today. On the citinewsroom.com, we have Kumewu by-election, refrain from activities that may cause mayhem. This is coming from the Peace Council. Kumewu by-election comes off today. Another headline there, breaking the 17 alternatives to IMF conditionalities for economic development. That story there by our very own Bernard Kokoavle. Disregard Baumia's pedestrian and mischievous lies. This is coming from the NDC. And then we have new tax tariff hikes crucial for Ghana's bailout deal. New taxes and tariff hikes crucial for Ghana's bailout deal.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
yeah, I know. As if the taxes that we have
Yes.
are not enough. You're going to add more. Well, anyway, that's what we have for the headlines this morning on News. Sports Review is next. Don't go anywhere. All right, it's time for us to get some updates on the sporting front. We have some transfer news and some Serie A news and Premier League on Citi updates as well. Okay, now, you know transfer news, we refer to it on Sports Panorama as Donkomi, right? So there's some Donkomi news here. Ajax star Mohamed Kudus reportedly turned down a one-year contract extension at the club and has expressed his desire to leave at the end of the season. Now, the Black Stars attacker is the subject of interest from several top European clubs, and Ajax will be looking for a fee around £40 million in any deal involving the midfielder if they are to sell. Reports say that Manchester United, Arsenal, and Newcastle United are keeping their eyes on Kudus and may make a move for him when the transfer window opens in June. In the Serie A, Juventus have docked 10 points following a new hearing into the club's past transfer dealings. All right, Juve were initially handed a 15-point penalty in January, but Italy's highest sporting court overturned that decision in April and ordered the case to be re-examined. The new ruling was announced on Monday before the team's away game to Empoli. Now, the penalty drops Juve to 7th place in Serie A, outside the European qualification spots. Now, some Premier League on Citi news. Newcastle United drew goalless with Leicester City on Monday to qualify for the UEFA Champions League for the very first time since 2003. Now, following the weekend's results, Newcastle only needed a point to book their ticket to Europe and went searching for 3, but they failed to put away the changes they created. Now, for Leicester City, the draw gives them a point, but they are still 18th on the table, and they faced West Ham on the final day of the season to see if they can survive relegation. It looks like Leicester is definitely going down because West Ham is not likely to give them the opportunity to stay up in the Premier League.